this is going to be a more grounded, not quite as dynamic practice as some of our others. So you can start on a child's pose. So you're down, you're close to the mat, you're connected to the earth. The arms are reaching out in front of you. The palms are heavy, so try not to hold the hands off the mat, but instead allow the palms, the forearms, the shoulders to really kind of sink down into the mat, so into that safe space. And the same through the lower body. Let the shins be heavy. Make sure you're not holding the hips off of the legs. Instead, allow the hips, the lower back, to really sink and lean back so the spine, the lower back, lengthens and opens. You're just settling the breath here, so just get rid of any short, sharp, irritable breath and change that to long, deep, nourishing breaths. Anything that you have on throughout the rest of the day or anything that's playing on your mind, see if you can just park that for this practice and instead concentrate on how the physical body feels. And just notice if your breathing is short. Again, remind yourself to grow the breath, to deepen the breath, to expand the breath. And as we start to do that, we notice if there is anywhere that there are restrictions within the breath. Sometimes that's quite a common restriction if you've got a cold and you're finding it difficult to breathe through the nose. Or maybe it's a bit deeper, maybe you're struggling to really push the breath down into the lowest section of the lungs. Wherever it is, just try and focus your awareness to that. If there is a restriction, if there's not, and you're breathing freely or breathing nice and easily, then just maintain that breath. And then reach the arms out in front of you. Keep the fingertips on the mat, but lift the heels of the hands away from the mat so the arms are outstretched. Now inhale, lift the head, the neck, the chest slightly so the spine lengthens. And then exhale, melt back down into your child's pose. So it's just a small movement, but it's mimicking the cat-cow movement. So we inhale, open and extend. Exhale, fold, release. Just taking a few more, starting to encourage some strength into the back of the body, extension through the spine, and then a softness to the front body. Breathing in and breathing out. Inhale, rise, lift that chest, neck, shoulders, and then push into the hands, bring yourself forwards, find all fours, and allow the movement to be a bit freer than your typical cat-cow. So maybe that's big rotations into the side of the body. Or maybe you're just swaying that cat-cow side to side so that instead of just our normal flexion extension pattern, we start to find some side bending, some rotation, just a little bit more compression, torsion, stretch, pressure throughout the whole spinal column to really nourish the discs, to ensure that there's movement throughout the spine, from the sacrum, from the very bottom, all the way up to the very top of the neck, the base of the skull. And then settle, find stillness. Just notice in stillness how that feels, to have a little bit more length, room, space. Take the right leg back, keep the left knee down, open a side plank up towards the right side of the room, and then just roll big circles through that top right arm. And use the circles to not only come into the shoulder joint, but to really come into the sides of the body. So through the torso, through the latissimus dorsi, the big muscle into the back, even into the hip. And then bring that right hand all the way down to the floor, swap it over, right knee comes down, side plank over to the left arm up and over. Big long rotations, as much movement as you can create with those rotations. And again, letting them work into the side of the body, the shoulders, the back, the hips. And then bring it back Both hands, both knees, tuck the toes, take it back, downward facing dog. And just roll that forwards and backwards a couple of times. So move into a plank, engage into the center of the body, into the shoulders, into the hips, into the glutes, and then downward facing dog a couple of times. Forwards and backwards. Try and use the breath to transition forwards and backwards. Make sure it's not just a shift forwards, but instead a roll, a move, an articulation through the spine. And then settle, find stillness in your downward facing dog. Inhale. Take the right knee all the way up to the sky. Bring the right knee in to tap the tricep and hold it there for 3, 2, 1. Step that right foot forwards, lower the back knee down. Reach the arms up to the sky. Start to open through that right hip into the outside of the right hip and squeeze into the front of the left thigh. Breathing in and breathing out. And then take both hands down to the instep of the right foot. For your lizard, if you already feel like you want to make it more active, then lift the back knee off the floor. Extend the back heel away. Keep the heart, the chest moving forwards, traveling forwards. And then step it back, downward facing dog, pedal it out. Move slightly side to side. Left leg up to the sky. Left knee into the chest, holding for 3, 2, 1. Stepping that foot forwards, lowering the back knee down and lifting the arms up to the sky, opening the chest, opening the outer left hip, moving into the front of the right thigh. Breathing in and breathing out. Noticing if you find those restrictions in the breath, move the breath in towards those restrictions. Try and rid of any restrictions. And then hands down to the instep of the left foot in that lizard. And again, if you're wanting to lift the back knee, lift it here. Extend the right heel away. Lengthen, move the chest forward so there's a long line through the torso, through the back leg. And then step it back. Downward facing dog. Walk the hands of your downward facing dog back towards the feet. Hang into a fold. And first of all, just think about how heavy the upper body is. Allow that to really draw and lengthen down on the spine as the weight travels into the toes, into the front half of the feet. Take your first 2 fingers, grip around the toes. Use the strength of the grip, the hands, the wrists, the forearms, the shoulders, and draw the body down so you close the gap between the upper body and the lower body. Release the head so the back of the neck isn't carrying tension. You don't need to see where you're going here. Allow the head to really release and aid that forward fold. Release the grip on the toes. Take the hands now underneath the feet so the thumb is massaged by the first big toe. Sending the weight forwards. And trust yourself here that you're not going to fall. So don't be wary of sending the weight forwards. And then release, wrap and hold behind the knees. Bend the knees if you need to. Create that connection, upper body, lower body, chin to chest, back of the neck long. And then see if you can start to extend the hips up to the sky. You'll feel that lengthen and open the hamstrings a little more. Release. Hands back to the floor, walk it out. Back into your downward facing dog. Take a breath here. Exhale, sigh everything out. Inhale, right leg up to the sky. Squeeze it into the chest, step it forwards, high lunge, reach the arms up and then move the hips slightly forwards and down. Find that steadiness in your high lunge. Right thigh back, left hip forwards. Inhale. Exhale, open into warrior 2. So your right arm forward, left arm back. Inhale, straighten both arms, straighten both legs, reach up. Exhale, move lower into warrior 2. Twice more here. Inhale, lift and rise. Exhale a little deeper. Last one, lift and rise. Draw the lowest, deepest abdominals in and up. Exhale, take it back down, warrior 2. Hands behind the back. Interlace the fingers to open the chest, and then bow that right knee, the right shoulder either to the right knee or inside of the right knee. Crown of the head travels down towards the floor. Your gaze can look towards the inner arch of the back left foot. And whilst you're here in your devotional warrior, notice if the right hip is flaring out, pull the right hip back in. So the right side of the thigh runs parallel to the outside edge of the mat. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale, rise back up. Open warrior two. Straighten the arms, straighten the legs, and as you do so, turn the right toes in. Forward fold with the legs nice and wide. Take hold back of the ankles and use the strength of the arms once more to pull yourself forwards and down. So you lengthen from the sacrum down the spine towards the mat. Lift up through the hips, engage through the thighs. Be strong in the feet, connect down into the ground to lift up, to rise up and fold. Release. Roll up here and transition into a high lunge towards the back of the mat this time, so your left foot is forwards. In your high lunge, reach the arms up to the sky. And then exhale, warrior two to the back of the mat. Inhale, straighten the arms, straighten the legs. Exhale, deepen. Two more. Inhale, straighten the arms, straighten the legs. Exhale, deepen. Last one. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, back into warrior two, hands behind the back. Devotional warrior again, but with the opposite fingers interlaced. Open the chest, lift up. Left shoulder inside of the left knee or on top of. Crown of the head down. Gaze towards the inner arch of the back foot here. So you're lifting the inner arch of the back foot. Slowly. When you're ready, inhale, rise, reach up, warrior two. Straighten the arms, straighten the leg, turn the toes towards the side of the room, and then forward fold again. This time, first two fingers hook around the big toe. So you're reaching down, using the strength again, elbows out, chest down, crown of the head down. Hips lift, belly button in. Breath. And release. Rising back up, soften the knees, soften the hips. High lunge towards the front of the studio, lift and open the chest. Exhale, take the hands down, step it back, and then move through your own vinyasa. So just moving forwards with an inhale. Lowering down, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Inhale, open the chest, move forwards and up. Exhale, take it back, downward facing dog, breath in. And breath out. Breath in. And breath out. Inhale, starting on the left, reach the left leg back, up and away. Pull the left knee in, step it forwards, rise up, high lunge. And then straighten the left leg, keep the back leg straight. Forward fold, you can walk the back foot in. Your hands can either be down to the ground or on blocks, just depends on the hamstrings, the lower back. There's no competition, no need to force anything here, just trying to lengthen through both sides of the waist, through both legs. You're reaching long and down so the shoulders can open down into the sides of the body. And then your hands act as support as you move forwards into a supported warrior three. So that just means our fingertips are on the floor. Allows us to concentrate on the lift in that left thigh, on the length in the side waist so we don't lose it, we don't collapse. Inhale. Exhale, land it back to a high lunge. Reach up, open the arms, and then take it out to the side. High lunge to the back of the mat. Now the right foot is forward and we fold here again. So you might be walking that back left foot in. You might have the hands to the floor or to blocks. Release, relax the back of the head. Breath in. Breath out. Walk the hands forward, supported, warrior three. Take the left leg back here. The right thigh lifts, the crown of the head extends to the back of the room. And then we lend it light into a high lunge, reach the arms up. take it open to the side. Inhale. Exhale, hands all the way to the top, the front of the mat. Step it back, downward facing dog. Roll through a vinyasa, take it forwards. Lower it down halfway or all the way to the floor. Baby cobra to lift the chest, or upward facing dog. Exhale, take it back, downward facing dog. Pedal it out. And we'll take the same sequence, but instead of the sequence being supported, we'll challenge ourselves to use a little bit more strength and balance. So starting on the right, extend the right leg up to the sky. Bring it into the chest, squeeze it in, step it forwards, reach up into that high lunge. Now straighten both legs, and as you fold this time, just reach the hands down past the legs towards the back of the room. So pull the upper abdominals, the lower ribs in, strengthen the front body and reach beyond the back of your mat. Then look forwards, reach the arms out in front of you. Transition into warrior 3 here. So arms can be out in front, but maybe you move them into prayer if that helps you slightly, or you take them long down by the side. Keep that left hip rolling down, right thigh lifting up. Land back into your high lunge. Open through the left side of the mat and transition high lunge all the way to the back of the mat. You're straightening both legs. Folding, reaching the hands to what was the front of the studio. So reach through, engage the upper abdominals, chin to chest. Use the strength in the front of the body. Reach and reach. And then lengthen the arms out in front of you. Warrior 3. All the hands travel to prayer. They come back down by the sides. Our awareness, our strength is in lifting the left thigh and in keeping the right hip down. Breath in. And breath out. Land the right leg back, high lunge. Open it out to the side of the room and allow yourself hands back to the top of the mat. Step it back, downward facing dog. Use the breath to move fluidly through a vinyasa. And we'll all meet together. Hands pushing away back into downward facing dog. Breath in. And breath out. Breath in. And breath out. Starting on the left, reach the left leg up to the sky. Bring the left knee towards the left wrist. Take the right leg back for your pigeon, but really concentrate on lifting out through the chest before you fold forwards and down, so you make sure there's space to move forwards. Bring the chest towards the floor, maybe towards the back of the forearms or the hands. Keep lengthening the left hip back so the left side of the lower back stays open. We want to avoid any compression, any sinking into that left side body. Try and soften into the backs of the shoulders. And just like in our child's pose at the start of practice, make sure you're not resisting gravity when you're in your pigeon. So you're not trying to hold the body off the mat. You're really letting the weight of the body just surrender down, to let go, to release. Soften the jaw, maybe just release the jaw side to side. And then coming onto the hands, just transfer the weight over to that left hip. Bring the right leg all the way around so it comes towards the top of the mat. Extend it out to the side. The left sole of the foot sits to the inside of the right thigh. Now shift your seat so it faces that right leg. Inhale, reach up and lengthen. Exhale, move beyond the right foot. So really extend the body forwards as you come into that fold. When you can't reach any further, allow the forearms to find the ground. Maybe the chin finds the chest. The head might find the thigh or the knee. Wherever it is, just allow the weight of the body to naturally just pull down and settle into the mat. into the ground beneath the mat. And then bringing it up. Keep the legs as they are, but now shift the weight so you face over to your left knee. Right hand comes across, holds on to the left thigh, reach the left arm all the way up and over. And there's quite a strong opening into the outside of that left hip, kind of right into the base of the lower back there, the left side of the lower back. And if you don't feel it, you can just simply open the chest a little bit more up to the sky. You should feel it's quite deep into the base of the lower back there. So open and feel that stretch. Move up carefully into a seated position and just step it back, downward facing dog, pedal it out, walk it out, open the backs of the thighs, shake the hips a little side to side. Inhale, right leg up to the sky, right knee, right wrist. Setting ourselves up for pigeon, so the hands are just going to push the chest away from the floor. They're going to lift us up, open us up, move the chest higher. And then exhale, fold it forwards and down. Check in that you're not allowing that right hip to lift. Lengthen it away. Open that right side waist. And then weight the body down into the mat. No resistance away from the mat. No hold. No grip. Just soften. Into the mat, into that safe space we talked about when we started our practice, when we were kneeling in our child's pose at the start of class. And then walk it up towards the hands. This time the weight travels over to the right. We swing the left leg around, so the left leg is out. Right sole of the foot to the inside of the left thigh. Shift the torso so you're looking towards your left leg. Inhale. Exhale, reach away beyond the left toes. And then move it to the ground. The forearms, the hands. Maybe the forehead comes to the knee, the chin comes into the chest. Lengthening from the waist, from the hips, up and over that left thigh. With the help of the breath. And then we slowly bring ourselves up for that quite intense side stretch. So the left hand comes across to the outside of the right thigh. This time, and the right arm travels up and over until we can feel that stretch in the base of the lower back on the right hand side. And reminding ourselves, if we don't feel it, to just open the chest, the shoulders a little more up towards the ceiling. Maybe anchoring that right hip a little more, so grounding into that right side. And then carefully moving up. Bring the knees in, sitting on the seat bones, hug the knees into the chest so you're on the seat bones, just in a little ball, squeezing everything in. And maybe from here just rock up and down the spine a couple of times, quite dynamic movements up and down the spine, just massaging up and down, up and down. And then next time you come up, find a seat. Plant the feet on the floor so the knees are bent. Now reach the arms up and away so the arms are in line with the ears, so the biceps are in line with the ears. Now it's going to take quite a bit of work into the center of the body, so draw the lowest abdominals in and up. Keep the lower ribs pulling in and down, and then slowly peel the spine to the floor without losing the ear and bicep connection. It's going to challenge you, but you've got to just draw in, anchor through the feet, pull in through the navel, the center of the body. And once you've taken it all the way down, you can just hug the knees in and shift side to side. Plant the feet to the floor. Roll the hips up off the ground, arms down by the side, hands pushing down, hips lifting up. Feel that work into the thighs. Imagine someone's pulling your knees away, so they're lengthening the thighs, providing you with more space to lift the hips higher, so you can push for more opening through the front of the thighs. Keep breathing as we hold it here for 5. Lift a little higher for 4. For 3, 2, and then 1. Slowly lower it all the way down. Squeeze the knees in and then release the feet back to the floor. Take the left ankle, place it on top of the right thigh and draw that right leg in towards you for a figure of 4 stretch. You can use the left elbow, encourage that left thigh further away until you really feel that work into the outer left hip. Try to keep the shoulders down. Move the left hip out. Draw the right thigh in. Breath in here. And breath out. Breath in. And breath out. Release and just take your time to switch over. So left foot plants. Right foot on top of the left ankle. Interlace. Behind the left thigh, draw in at the same time. Use the right elbow to encourage that right thigh out and away. Feel it into the outer right hip. Shoulders down, spine down. The work is in the hips and the thighs. Breath in. Breath out. Breath in. And out. 1 more. And release. Hug the knees in. Maybe happy baby. Soles of the feet or big toes. Just rocking, moving, opening around the sacrum. Massaging into the front of the tummy, into the front of the hips. If there's anything missing, then add it into your practice here. If not, extend the arms down by the side. Release the legs down to the bottom corners of the mat and just settle into Shavasana. Ground the body down, so drop all your efforts, all the resistance, and melt into the mat. Let the breath help with that, so each time you exhale, just deepen, soften, ground down. Notice how the body feels. Notice the full body release from the ankles through the knees, the hips, the pelvis, the back of the body, the shoulders, the back of the head and the neck. You can just gently move the neck from side to side, massage the base of the skull onto the mat. You might just point and flex the feet a couple of times, open the back of the calves, the front of the feet. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up to the sky, interlace the fingers, take the hands back away from you, full body stretch, as much space as you can on the mat, lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. And then release, hug the knees in, squeeze everything into a small ball. Without too much fuss, just find a seat on your mat with the legs crossed, rest the hands on the knees. Again, just taking a moment to check in, to see now how your body feels, maybe in comparison to how it felt at the start of practice. Notice if that breath is free of any resistance, any of those barriers that we spoke about at the start of our practice. The physical barriers. If you've got a cold and the nose is blocked, or the barrier is a bit deeper down that are preventing nice, big, full, expanding breaths. And then all together, reach the arms all the way up to the sky. Take a full inhale. And exhale, bring the hands into prayer heart center, rest them to the chest. Just acknowledge your efforts, your energy, and the time you've given yourself to practice. Namaste.